All right, folks, morning. Wednesday morning. All right, midway through the week. Hump day. News coming today. I don't know how volatile it's going to be, folks, given Mr. Donald Trump, your president, cannot make his mind up whether he's releasing stuff or not releasing stuff. It's driving me insane. Today was supposed to be the final day of tariffs, and he has moved it to August 1st now as final offer, but has also said that some will be released today. Some countries, to quote him, will be released today, whatever that means. So high alert, if I was you, high alert. We don't know what that means, really. But as always, we're going to look at the technicals and the chart. So daily chart right here, first thing we're focusing on. All right, Thursday last week, we still have supply up here untested. And then we have Monday, Tuesday. All right, so we're boxed in currently inside the Monday, Tuesday range right here. All right, now the danger of this, yes, this is a pullback which is holding and potentially go higher. Absolutely, I'm not going to deny that. The danger of this is where supply is trapped. It is trapped at Thursday's high. So to get a good long back into retest this, we want to be bidding down here, but the market's already moved away from it. We've made a double bottom now, high, low, high, low, high, low, and the market's already running away from it. Do I want to get long up into supply? No, absolutely not, because it's our first test of supply, and I'm going to show you that supply as we move down into the higher time frames right here. Let's put on SVP. All right, and you will see this right here, point of control from Thursday, and this range right here where all the volume is, it's yet to be tested. Okay, this is what's concerning me right now. Yes, you can see volume built up here, and we held the edge. We washed underneath, came back inside, came down overnight, held this level. Clear demand structure here is starting to form. But the long scenario is from here to here in a rotation, because like we talked about, this is a balanced market in here. We want to play edge to edge. What I'm very concerned about is if this market just runs straight up this morning, which it's trying to do already, trying to get over previous day highs. ES and SPY already there, QQQ's already there, NQ's trying to play catch up. If it does this move up here, I don't want to drive long, all right? I don't want to join long here trying to get up to here, because on a first test, there's every opportunity that they just go, no thanks, you can go back into your range, and we're into the death chop again. That's my concern. Does it happen? I don't know. Maybe they squeeze up and there's so much momentum, we break out, pull back and go. Maybe we break out, failure, and come back down, which will offer a short trade back down. Maybe the morning pop just fails and we come into this death chop for another day until we get decisions on the rates. All right, but what I do know is I don't like the long as we approach this supply up here, as in a new position long. I don't want to be entering up here. I'll consider an entry here for that move, and I'll consider a short really if we break down and start failing under here back down to these levels. Otherwise, at the moment, this is very strong demand. How to be aware of this? Well, let's talk about what we did from Sunday, Monday. This is kind of your no trade zone, all right? Or if you're going to trade it, you need to be buying cheap, selling expensive. Simple as that. Otherwise, you are asking to get chopped up, just like yesterday. You're asking to get chopped up. So I had one trade yesterday. It was a winner on the lead account, and the rest of the accounts decided they weren't going to close out, and I lost some money on them. But hey, it wasn't a big deal, and that's what happens. As we move into the lower time frame, you can see exactly what I'm looking at. So previous day lows holding here. Monday lows. Tuesday we start moving up, then we go into this dreaded chop. See how yesterday we spent the whole day pretty much inside the opening range and initial balance. All right, never a move out of it. Balanced day, and then we build this, and overnight we're into this squeeze, but we're coming up to test these areas, which is where I want to be very, very cautious about. That's what we're looking at. I'm hands off here. I'm just risk off, just going to let this do what it needs to do, to be honest. And once we break out or get a failed breakout, it will be much easier to trade. Let's have a look at the mag because they are all doing different things right now. Apple trapped inside of range, opening up pretty much where it was yesterday, all right, around these 209s. Microsoft's having a big day. All right, nice gap up. Again, there's your flag. Breakout. Coming back to retest this area. Does it find bids here for a new move higher? So basically versus 500-ish. If it holds that, then it will probably want to test pre-market highs and then potentially has squeeze potential. Amazon. It's trying to come and test this supply up here. Okay, so there's failing to break out. There's your big wash down. Question is, do they sell it into 222? So you can already see Amazon and Microsoft, totally different charts. Microsoft with strength, Amazon potentially with supply overhead, Google supply overhead. This is the same story. All right, so it's in potential demand area here after taking the liquidity with supply based here. So does it fail this? So you're going to see complete mixed bag. Again, this is trading inside. Meta has strength today. All right, gapping up over previous day high, although it's pretty tight. And I would say this is starting to wedge in a little bit here. If Meta can get going, it's going to look to come and test this area here. Nvidia has been strong this morning. There you go, all-time highs. Nvidia gapping up over previous day high. This thing's just on a tear. Remember, there's no supply overhead. We're in price discovery at this point. And Tesla trading inside range. So complete mixed bag. Nvidia strong. Meta, not too bad, trying to reverse off the lows. Google weaker. Amazon weaker. Microsoft has strength. All right, so mixed bag there. Let's have a look at the VIX because VIX has been getting hammered. There you go. So VIX starting to break down. We are at a key level right here, as you can see. Okay, so if we start snapping these lows and coming into the low teens, then you would expect the market to want to grind higher at that point. It's just how we like to operate. Let's have a look at the ETFs. Just get this off for a second. All right, spiders. Very simply, if it holds above this range on the spiders, 621, right, it has the chance to come and revisit into here and here. Failing back into this range will mean death chop. If we start to break down under this, there's a chance to revisit this Monday low. If we snap the Monday low, there's lots of liquidity down here we can clean up. So just trading between two important zones, very much like the QQQ. We're trading between here and here. If we can hold this, we might have a shot at getting up to that first point. Really depends what the mag want to do. QQQ, same kind of story. You've got your lows down here, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and a bit of a flat top with supply. This is what I'm talking about. This is the guy that's been left up here. Remember, we gap down, and this has not been retested. So I'm very aware. If we just go straight up this morning, I don't want to be buying in here. If it builds some liquidity out and offers that trade, then maybe. But again, at first test, likely to be met with some serious resistance unless something really, really changes. He's back on with my view up. Okay. What I would say on the Qs, we are stacked the right way currently. All right, from this point overnight, 5 a.m. Right, once the flow zones retook this lower time frame algo, they are stacked correctly. This looks very trendy right now. Very trendy. Might go and have a little tear this morning. We will have to see. Let's get through the chat. Morning, Jeff, Coop, Miguel, Jesse, Exister, ERF, 1M, Leron, Toby, Raphael, Brandon, Bowden, Christy, Mo, Marek, BU, Mike, Ken, Thumper, Trentry, Bart, Richard, Willa, Glenn, Arturo, Lyndall, Myron, Peter, John, Lucan. Good morning, everyone. Remember, hit that like button nice and early. We get to 100 likes today. I will do an Apex giveaway. Any size account that you want, but we got to get to 100 likes. We have failed to do it so far this week, although I have been off early, as you will all know. I had to take my dog to surgery yesterday to get the stream up so I can manage that and see how many of you come into here. I'd love to do a giveaway today. Okay, news today. That we do have news coming. I'm pretty sure it's 10 o'clock. I'm just going to double check what I posted earlier. Yes, 10 o'clock. Wholesale inventories, and then 2 o'clock FOMC minutes. So just be aware, like Cooper's pointed out above in the chat, depending who you're trading with, firms like TradeDay do not let you trade the news, so you will need to wait 2 minutes after that. I never trade the news anyway, so no big deal there. How's my dog doing? I don't have her back yet. I'm going to go and collect her tonight. It was pretty tough dropping her off, but I didn't get to speak to the surgeon after surgery, but my wife did. He said that he opened up her leg. She had a torn ACL, and she had also torn her meniscus. So they've cleaned out all the knee. She's, if anyone's ever had a dog with a TPLO, this is her second TPLO. It is a nasty surgery. They cut into the top of the femur and they rotate it, and then they put metal each side of that knee joint with 8 bolts going in. So that's what she had done yesterday. It's a horrible, nasty surgery. It will be at least 3 months before she's fully weight bearing. So I'll be sleeping on the floor with her for the next 3 months because she doesn't like it otherwise. I've been here and done this, and hopefully we'll make a crazy fast recovery, but we're just going to have to see. But hopefully she's all right. I'm looking forward to having her home, but she's going to be very drugged up, and I know the first few days are really, really tough. Once we get to week 6, we go back for x-rays. She's normally in the clear at that point. Yeah, it's pretty major surgery. It's pretty major surgery. I mean, vets will tell you they do it every day and it's easy, but in terms of what it's like for the dog, it's really tough. And this is the second time she's had it. So she already had it on her back left leg. Normally when dogs have this surgery, which they call TPLO, once they've had it on one leg, there is a 50% chance they will need it on their other leg because they start pushing too much weight through the other leg. So that's what's happened. So I'll be looking forward to going and collecting her today. All right, what have we got open? Here's previous day high. Trading right by previous day high right now. Remember to stay zoomed out on your charts today. It will do you a favor because if you look at the previous day high, even on the higher time frames, right, all we have to do is take this. We run into London, and then we've got previous day Asia above it. What day is that? The Sunday high above it, and then we're into supply very, very quick. So you want to be slightly cautious this morning. Unfortunately, best location to trade, I feel like I say this every day at the moment, has been and gone. This down here was a very nice setup. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Reclaim. Everything here is saying buy me. So if you were at the charts at 5 a.m. this morning, you were probably in a nice trade already. But at this point here, we just have to wait. Not willing to buy this into this block or this block here. Going to have to just let and see what we do. Maybe after the news at 10. I'd love to be in before that. This market seems like it's in a hurry to move higher, but you know, the trade location has gone. Momentum looks good on the lower time frames. Can we clear out some of the higher time frame levels? It looks bullish so far for now, but as we said, there is fresh supply from Thursday last week as we approach sort of 23,050. So previous day high now taken. Previous day high now taken. And we'll see what we get. $20 seconds here, folks. Just be careful because all of the market is starting to take previous day highs out, and we'll see what the mag looked like at open. You'd imagine Nvidia and everything like that gapping up. Here we go, folks. All right, all of the market other than Tesla and Apple currently green. There's the drive. So we start to test old supply soon. There we go. So in a squeeze, like we talked about, this is the problem. Location's been and gone. Shorts are trapped in this market right now off those lows. and they're starting to get squeezed. So got to let this settle. Cannot be joining as we go on a rip higher. Far, far too risky. This is just one of those very unfortunate things. Thought this might happen, but no way are you going to catch me buying into supply up here. If it keeps going, it keeps going. It's just one of those things. If you were long this morning from these dips like we talked about down here, that was your long trigger. Really was down there. That's already 100 points away. We're starting to clean up some of these levels like we just talked about. All these stops now starting to get popped. Next drive would be probably into 23.28. And then we approach that Thursday supply. All right. What a pain. This market will never make it easy for us at the moment. Every time I come to the chart, it's either chop or it's already gone. The location's gone. What a pain. Okay, then. So QQQ into its old gap, approaching that Thursday level. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do, folks? Got to wait now. So Tesla trying to go red to green, Apple trying to go red to green. If they all go red to green, they're going to be in a hurry to move. Remember, big gap up in some of these. Nvidia at all-time high, so we are in price discovery in Nvidia right now. Watch the volatility, big volume at the open, just watch the volatility. I'd love to be involved in this, but can't. See if we pull back towards that New York open and find a bid there, but at the moment, shorts are just so cooked. They're so cooked. Look at ES 305s on the book for higher, and then not much, to be honest, at the moment. Oh, what a bugger. Really simple. Once we broke out of that trend down here, once we offered this buy here, buy, push, and go, and at this point here, I'm just waiting now. If you're not in it, you cannot be buying these highs into supply. Well, you can do whatever you want, but your risk reward profile at this point is not very good. Were any of you long from the London session or maybe very early New York before I got to the screens? Remember, the edge of Thursday, I would say, is sort of into 35, point of control into 50. So there's another 10, 15 points for the first level, and then probably sort of 20, 30 points into 50. Long at 9.25. Oh, very nice. Nice work, Jeff. Nice work, Jeff. So 100 points in the money right now. Let's see if this market will give us a pullback at all before it gets up to that true supply. It doesn't feel like it, does it? You were asleep. Me too. Me too, Lee Kim. That would have been 5, 4, 3, 2 a.m. for me to take that first trigger. What a ripper. Extended away from these flow zones, away from New York Open at the moment. This is a true gap and go right now. I'm wanting to see if we can get a pullback, build out a bit of structure. And if we can do that, maybe, just maybe, it offers a long opportunity for continuation. But I'm not just going to buy while we're going straight up. If it's going to do that and just go all the way into supply, that is absolutely fine. I would rather stick to my rules and not make any money than break my rules and put myself in danger. You were in. Sorry, I'm just reading that. 22,955 got on the break and retest 955 right here, I guess, somewhere around here. Very nice. But forgot to move my TP. Went to make a coffee and missed the majority of the move. So you probably locked in a bit early, maybe. Glad I was in on my options. That was nuts. So I bet you made a lot in that break, Jack. If you were long calls, or even if you were short puts. Bowden, yeah, the trigger. No worries. We can do it now. All right, nice downtrend. Double bottom holds. Here's your first high low. There's your build of your right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder. There's the reclaim of VWAP and the lower time frame algo, and then you start getting the spread between the flow zones and lower time frame. This is telling you bulls are in control. So right here, I'd be looking long this morning. So that break of around 900, really nice level. Also through Globex, that move there. Trading towards that old POC now. We're coming into Thursday's level. This is the issue, folks. This Thursday, this is where we broke away from. We've never really retested it. This is the first test of this level, really, other than this tiny test here, but first test of this level. So do not want to be long. Make sure if you were long anywhere down here, you must take a partial into this. Respect the structure, pay yourself. You don't know if supply comes and whacks that all the way back down, and you don't want to give back 100 points here. Make sure you're paying yourself some money. You can hold runners, but please make sure you're paying yourself some money. All of the mag nice and green. All of the market looks green today. Oh, I'm just waiting for a pullback which doesn't want to come. Myron, before opening ES, I grabbed my quota for the day. Now I can cut grass. Oh, nice. You're already done for the day. Beautiful. Waiting to see if we get a decent pullback as we're starting to tap into and around supply. I can delete this at this point here. We don't need that. We're through it. New highs again. Just zero pullback here. I'm not going to buy the highs here. Like I said, this can go without me. You have days like this where you miss the trigger because you're not at the charts and it goes on a giant squeeze. There's no way I'm joining up this high without it building structure. At the very least, it's got to go sideways for a bit, not vertical. All right, we're now, since this open, gone straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars. Not one of those bars has balanced the bar beneath. Just straight up, straight up, straight up for 10 minutes. And we're tapping right into this supply block now. All right. If we get over this, remember this is all-time highs up here. If we get over that, breakout retest or breakout, fail breakout, then I'll also consider joining. I'd much rather join much lower, but it is what it is. This is what happens when shorts are stuck in the market. Remember, we always talk about it. When we fail to break down and make a new low, this is where shorts get stuck. So that happened right here. There's your low. Shorts are trying to go. They can't get it. They get squeezed out. And that's why this is your first trigger for the long. Remember, when one side's stuck, you get beautiful moves. This is just showing you one side stuck. All right, first reaction off supply there, right into my block. into 50, old point of control, you're seeing the first reaction off it. So right here, this old point of control here is where the volume is thicker from Thursday. Would love to see a decent size pullback here, some form of trap. All right, something like a 2-leg would be great. Something like that. We keep going higher. I'm not going to be able to just join this. It's a very strong channel right now. Buyers are in absolute control. The last thing you want to do here as well, by the way, folks, is be guessing the top on the short. Do not do that. Momentum is fantastic to the upside. Location is not there for us right now as buyers, but momentum is very, very strong. Do not bet against it. See if we can get a close lower. One thing I do know, at least the opening range is going to be a bit bigger today. That opening 10 minutes is about the same size as all of yesterday, I think. Come on, market. I want to see a pullback go and rinse out all those buyers who have chased it. I'd like to see a little stop hunt on them all. Major problem is we're coming into that supply. It's just, this is everything I said was likely to happen has happened, unfortunately. It is one of those things. This 15-minute bar, very, very strong. Yep, we have news at 10 o'clock. That's right. Not red folder, but it is news. Remember, we also have tariff news today. I don't know what time. Did he say midday again? Maybe someone can remind me. Miguel, you're normally really good with this stuff. I think he said midday. We'll be releasing a minimum of 7 countries having to do with trade tomorrow morning. I mean, just morning. Answers on a postcard then. No idea. Morning. All right, tapping into that supply. We're into those old point of control kind of levels. I'm waiting to see if we reject this, not for me to get short, just so that we can get a decent size pullback. Yeah, exactly. That's nice, isn't it? Just totally random. I'll just release it when I feel like it. Imagine having FOMC just released randomly at a day and time when I feel like doing it. Powell's just like, hey, please be aware, I've just raised rates by 0.5 point. And 2 days later, just kidding, I'm just going to put a pause on that and I'll tell you again August 1st. I mean, that is literally what we're dealing with at the moment. It is absolute insanity. Okay, can we get a bearish close here and start a bit of a pullback leg? Remember, we're very, very strong up in this channel. I'm just looking for some form of pullback where bulls who are late get washed out and we can think about if it builds structure for a 2-leg or something like that to get involved with. But what I'm not going to do is be buying up in supply up here. I want to see it pull back and form some kind of bear trap ideally, or some kind of buying continuation pattern, whether it's a flag or inverse head and shoulder or whatever it is. Well, that was the other joke yesterday, Bowden. He was calling for, oh my God, really? He was calling for Powell to like resign and telling him that he's got to cut rates now on Truth Social. And the joke is like Powell doesn't have social media. The last thing he has is Truth Social. All for show. Yes, thank you for your attention on this matter. Yeah, exactly. I might start putting that on all my Instagram posts and stuff now. Here's a picture of me eating a burger. Thank you for the attention on this matter. Later today, I'm going to post a picture of my dog. Thank you for the attention on this matter. It's bizarre. The whole thing's bizarre. All right, continuation of squeeze. We're going for all-time highs here, folks, and there's not a lot I can do about it. This is absolutely crazy. So your opening range now set. There's your orb. There's your breakout of the orb. Do you get a pullback into it? I don't know, but right now it looks like we are in a hurry for all-time highs. That's what it looks like to me. Let me just check the ES chart because I need to make sure where are all-time highs. They are up a bit higher on ES. All right, so we've got divergence. ES is coming into its, or is into its first pivot of 15. It's got to break that to get anywhere near 633. So lagging behind in terms of positioning versus all-time highs. Oh, it's brutal, Coop. Oh, it's definitely brutal. Yeah, it is annoying. Like we said, these are the nice trades when one side is completely stuck. But if it's not going to give us an entry, I mean, we're just extended from everything. You could consider a pullback into the orb here, but again, you will be buying in supply. Not ideal. Not ideal. I'll tell you what, let's get an anchor on before I forget as well. There's your anchor on the day. So buyers are in control from 23.37s right now. Oh, gosh. Man, this guy's got to be a bot. Unless you post something normal in here, 1M chart, you will be deleted and banned from the channel. It's the third time you've posted that. Well, yeah, exactly, Miguel. We might come up here and then he goes, hey, I'm doing a 75% tariff on this country. Take care, Exister. I'll stay in touch if I get any news for you today as well. Or let me know if they reach out to you as well, please. So I stop hammering them to give me a decision on your Apex accounts. News coming here in about 11 minutes as well. Buyers on the date tape down at 60 at the moment, which is basically the opening range. Sellers up at 100. Let's have a look at ES. Buyers on the tape on ES at 08 and 06 currently, although they're just trying to step in there on a market order right here. This is just annoying at this point. This is where discipline comes in. This is where it gets really hard because everything is telling you to buy it and you'll wait and wait and wait and wait. And if you lose discipline and you buy here and they finally offer a pullback, you just get absolutely whacked for 40 points and you think, why did I do that? It broke all my rules. So you've just got to be patient here. We're in such a strong channel. At some point, the market will pull back, right? At some point, the market will pull back. It's effectively what we're in at the moment. Yeah, exactly, Bowden. And that's all because shorts are trapped. And that is the key. It's all because shorts are trapped. When we go to this chart, all right, this is a giant bull flag. Here is your test and test of RBS. Here is your inverted head and shoulder. And there is your breakout. And unfortunately, when we came to the charts, we want to buy down here. It's already done the move. Now we need to wait. So either it's a breakout retest at this point, as we come up for those all-time highs. This thing's just in a hurry. It's just unfortunate. Or we get a failed breakout up here and a rotation back down. We're 9 minutes away from news now. It's very unfortunate, folks. I'm really sorry. Sometimes this is what happens. If you are in the long pre-market, you are laughing right now. You are set to have a very good day. You can just keep taking partials and then just try and hold your runners. Did ES take that high out there? What is that high? 15.25. Yes, it did by one tick. So ES took its first pivot out. It's nowhere near all-time highs yet. But it did take its first pivot out here. Can we get a pullback? VIX now sub 16 in those 15s now. Very bullish territory. Remember, we've gone straight up here this morning, folks. Every buyer's chased this on the way up. Okay, possibly the start of some form of pullback. Can we get a bear trap in here? They're probably going to time it perfectly with the news. $4 trillion market cap, insane, isn't it? Insane. I was actually creating a video for brand new traders and investors yesterday. A little course that I'm going to release because I've been helping friends and I got sick of teaching them the same thing over and over again. So I thought I'd just build a short course. And I was going over large cap and mega cap and how they identify it in terms of market cap. And I'm just like, it's crazy. We identify it as like, you know, over 20 billion and stuff like this. You've now got companies trading at 4 trillion market cap. Absolutely bonkers. What's also bonkers is traditionally like the volatility on those isn't high. But you would say, you know, Nvidia's up basically 60% if you bought that dip. It did offer a dip sub 100 earlier this year. It's mental to have a mega cap up that much. Starting to see some sell pressure coming in here across the markets. We're coming into news, remember. I would say it's very likely that we will go and take that all-time high out, but it might need to offer some form of bear trap first. Maybe after the news. Would love to get long in this if it can puke down a little bit and offer a bear trap. Don't go up any higher. I want you to leave that liquidity and come lower because then I've got a target. Don't go and take it to market. If we take out that all-time high, it's going to make it very hard for us to take a new trade at that point because it means we will have taken all the liquidity out and we're just being price discovery. So if we're going to get trade here, we need we really need to pull back. Not a drive up to take all-time high out, which is what it looks like it's going to do. There's some sellers here at 23,100, which is where that all-time high is. Come on, pull back, market. I need you to leave that liquidity up there. So I'm looking for a pullback and some form of bear trap, unless the news is really bad. We're looking for something like this, okay, where we can think about getting long, and we leave the liquidity here, so we've got a target to get up to. That's what we'd like. Remember, any melt under this, you've got to be very careful. This is very thin on the way up. If it wants to come and have bad news and do that, or he releases a tariff statement, don't be surprised if it absolutely rotates it back. But so far, momentum very, very bullish. We're just looking for a better location. I quite like that, Jack. Jack says there will be no pullback. Thank you for your attention in this matter. Yeah. ES offering a better pullback here. All right, 2 5-minute bars starting to print lower here. Remember, news coming in 3.5 minutes or so. Come on. Probably got to wait for news now at this point, just to make it even more tricky. Areas of interest: orb, VWAP. Can even think about New York session. This would be flag sort of territory down here. 50% pullback would be into 23.35. At that point, it would be kind of weak unless it's a wick down and a reclaim. So let's see. Trying to be patient. Trust me, it is as hard for me as it probably is for all you lot. Every part of me wants to chase this up higher right now, but I must not do it. Must stick to my rules. We've definitely chomped through enough of the supply. Now I'm just looking. Can move this up a little bit. We've chomped through enough. Let's just move this onto like 30-minute and do it very quickly. Going back down towards that opening range. One minute left for news. This is what we want. We want a nice deep wash. And then to see some absorption, leaving that target of all-time high up there, and then we can go and attack that as a target for low-hanging fruit. If we start to let go of VWAP and opening range, then you want to be careful because it's a big H1 bar. Think about the size of this bar. All right, if the new candle, what we're looking for in a new candle for an H1 is like a wick down and a big bar over. All right, if we don't get that, all right, what you want to be careful of is a candle that does a wick up and a big drive down to rebalance. You would not want to get into here. You can see it gets thinner in here. Here we go. News then. All-time high coming. This thing's in a rush. There you go. There's all-time high hit. Oh, I'm glad it offered a nice deep pullback for us to get involved in. All right, the problem here is if we wick the high and then want to pull back like we just talked about. Well, we did just tag that all-time high. Your flag playing out here off flow zones. I just wanted one little shove down for a trap. Oh, mamma mia. All right, you got divergence here. NQ taking highs, ES not taking highs. Mamma mia. Only thing we can really play for now is a breakout retest of the highs. If there's continuation, it means we're going to be buying very, very high. What a nightmare. This is a nightmare scenario for me. I want to be involved, and it's just not giving me what I want. Is retesting lower time frame of all-time highs. Again, you have divergence, ES not breaking out here. Trump already commenting on the Fed, saying it's at least 3 points too high. Are you kidding me? You think he's going to do a 3-point cut this year? Mate, you're bonkers. Never going to happen. Maybe 1 point. So Trump talking, folks, on Truth Social. Just be careful. Who knows what he's going to say. All-time high is holding here. Liquidity is up above at 30 now. This thing's just going. There's just no way of me getting involved in this moment. That was the tiniest of retests. I was looking. I really wanted this here. It was shaping up nice. I really wanted this here just to do one of these. That's all I was looking for. Just to get involved, knowing that bears get trapped down here and we can use them for juice to go higher. At this point, there should be no bears really involved in this. They should all be blown out, which makes it harder for me to want too long because we've just taken all the low-hanging fruit. So we're in price discovery now. These are the highest levels we've ever been at. ES looking weaker here, potential bear flag and breakdown. ES might do the move that we want on NQ. This is a massive H1 bar here. Do not want to be buying the top of it. Buyers on ES are at like 308, 306, 305, 300 even. There's a little bit here on NQ into 95. I'm going to use the bathroom and I will be back. Okay, so it's failing right now to stay above those old all-time highs. ES, like we talked about, might have the look that we were looking for in NQ. Relative weakness in ES, not near its all-time highs, not breaking out and making a new high intraday when the NQ is, or was, I should say. And if NQ wants to let go, there can be a much, much bigger pullback here. But let's just see. It still looks very, very strong to me. So we came into this level here. Volume here at 85, I'd say. You've got to be very careful. If it breaks 85, a rebalance is very, very possible in this candle to offer something like this, a retest of this to go higher. Not going to play the shorts today. That's one thing I'm not going to do. I think the shorts will get stuck, even though I think there's a nice counter trend short potentially setting up if ES wants to roll with it to offer that deep pullback. What I'm not going to do is play that. I'm going to wait for that to finish and look to join long because momentum is strong. If we look at the higher time frame, what are we really looking for here? We're going to look for one of these basically, if it will play. These are days which, I'll be honest, they test my ability to stick to a plan, but I will just show you. All right, I'm still not in anything. I'm waiting, and it will either give me what I want, and then I'll trade my plan. I'll either make money or lose money, or it won't give me what I want, and I'll just sit still. It's unfortunate. It's hard to look at this and think, hey, what a beautiful pump. We're up 134 points off the open. But in terms of how I like to play, has it really offered much structure? You could argue that this right here is a buying opportunity, but buying this into news is just too high risk for me. I'm not going to do that because there's every chance that that offered that play down there. So failing to make a new high, like I said, it can offer a deep pullback here. That's what we want. We're looking for a very deep pullback after a pump to all-time highs, stealing the all-time high liquidity. The bigger problem now with the waiting for the deep pullback to get long is that we have taken that all-time high liquidity. The low-hanging fruit has been taken. That's the one problem, I would say. But if we can offer some kind of inverse head and shoulder, some area for me to get long, somewhere where it can offer a double bottom, you know, maybe it protects the orb. I don't know. Ideally, no. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's something down here, and we wait for a reclaim to get long. Anything like that. ES absorbing right now off its flow zones. Spiders getting a bounce off their VWAP. NQ very, very extended from its VWAP, but Spiders finding a bounce off VWAP for now. Check the news here, make sure nothing's happening. New sanctions related to Iran coming out of US Treasury. Yes, coming back down towards its VWAP again. I really want to see NQ just let go and offer that bigger pullback. Oh, this thing will not pull back. Shorts are just too trapped in it. We're very far from VWAP. New York VWAP here, 24-hour VWAP all the way down here. But SPY, don't know if you can see this one here. SPY is bouncing off VWAP. Yeah, so cash players in the ETF market keep bidding off the VWAP on SPY. When we get to 100 likes, we will do an Apex giveaway. That's why I'm giving a nice one. Let's have a look. Oh, that's deep pullback. Really deep. What, RTY doing the same? Yeah, NQ, because of the relative strength, probably from Nvidia more than anything. But the Mag 7 all green, obviously that's worth 60% of the NQ. So NQ holding up very well. But like Leron's pointed out, the other indices, or the other indexes, pulling back very, very nice right now. This is why I watch the Mag 7 when I trade the NQ. It's heavily weighted. Days like this today, you got Nvidia 2.26% up, Meta 2.09% up, Google 2.5% up, Amazon 2.08% up, Microsoft 1.58% up, Tesla 0.20% up, and Apple 0.11% up. Big green days can cause big green squeezes in the NQ. Nice correlation. All-time high again here. Come on, please. Please, market. Just be kind. Yeah, Christian Horner leaves Red Bull. I was talking about that. I read two different opinions and stories on this. Here we go. Trump. Any country aligning themselves with anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. There will be no exceptions to this policy. He's just posted that. Yeah, I read two different things about that with Christian Horner. One thing I read was he was trying to get Vettel into a position and held a meeting late last night, and the board didn't like it. They felt it was like a bit of a coup, so got rid of him. And the other thing I read was it's more to do with these sexual harassment cases and stuff. So I have no idea. Who knows? I'm sure it will come out in the wash soon. This is so hard to watch. And breathe. Yeah, YM pulled all the way back to 5-minute flow zones, previous day high, above its 24-hour VWAP at the moment. Let me look at the mag. Tesla kind of trading sideways. Nvidia trying to find a bid at VWAP right now after ripping up to all-time highs. Meta on an absolute tear. Google on a tear. Amazon maybe going to start a pullback after taking out previous day high. Microsoft pulling back to VWAP, see if it can find a bid there. Apple looks crap. Someone told me it was because he was chatting to Ferrari. Yeah, that was leaked last week about him going to Ferrari. I'm not sure I'm convinced about that, but I just can't see him at Ferrari. Just looks weird to me, but maybe. Man, after all that move earlier, we're just trapped in a tighter range right now. Come on, market, pull back. Probably Raphael. The problem is at the moment, the pullback will just be profit taking. Right? There's no reason to be short in this market. We're very, very bullish. We're going to need to wait for this sort of handle to build out and for the pullback to finish to get long. And until there's bearish news or news that scares the market, there's no reason for it to move aggressively lower. So we're just into sort of a profit taking scenario. Mexican president says, let's wait when asked about Trump's tariffs on copper imports. Still looking for that same thing. I'm going to look for that sort of inverse head and shoulder. If it doesn't play, it doesn't play. I want a deep drive down, get lots of shorts involved in this. I want to see a recovery, a right shoulder build, and it start to move. Yeah, I read that out earlier, Coop. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to say. Does he have any idea how much 3 points is? No, it's all good. No. All good. It's just I'm more commenting on. I just think it's a mental thing to say. Do I think they need to make rate cuts? Yeah, they probably do. Why haven't they done it? They're waiting for him to make his decision on tariffs. And everyone's going to say tariffs don't affect inflation. Well, they will affect inflation not by the tariffs, but by basically, in essence, the amount that companies are able to make, import, export, put on the shelves, etc., etc. If the companies start to slow down because there's too many costs, then it's going to cause a problem. Then people are going to lose their jobs and spending is going to go down, which is why he wants them to make the cuts. But you're in a chicken and an egg situation. Powell's waiting for him to make a decision on tariffs. He's waiting for Powell to make a decision, or trying to put pressure on him to make a decision on the on rate cuts. Yeah, life is expensive right now, Jack, especially in America. Yeah, exactly. All right, finally, we might be getting something here. Maybe some balance of this old H1. We have an old wick at sort of 23, 26, 23,000 even. If we start washing underneath the opening range and New York VWAP, let's just see though. There's some profit taking starting to happen here. Look at the book. No, come on. Don't just do that. Don't you dare. Lower. Considerably lower, please. This is SPY on VWAP. That's why it keeps moving up off these levels. If you look at Spiders, cash market on the ETF, it keeps bouncing off VWAP. I want it to go lower. I want a nasty flush to then be absorbed. We've been in a pump all day. Remember, we've been pretty much straight up, folks. Straight up all day. If it wants to go and snap and the whole thing back, it can. I'd be surprised if it does it without a news event. It can do it after it takes all-time highs, but let's just see. We'll be looking for longs if it sets something up of interest. Yeah, if you're just joining the stream, once we get to 100 likes, I will give away an Apex account of any size. Then we pull back to here. Just if we get deep, they're just levels where I know we broke out from, so I'm just marking them out. When we get a little bit thinner under 70, we get very thin under 25. Take care, Jack. We swept that internal low. I'd like one more drive down and a trap. Please, market. And 15 into 65, and then under 53 is weaker. Okay. On them 550s. Take care, Jeff. Yeah, lovely long pre-market for you. Good work. Their levels I'm interested in. It's not necessarily that I'll take it there. Their levels are interested in. Remember, I want to see a reaction. We've got to see some form of bullish pattern. Because if you bid there, what's your out? It depends how you play it. If you're going to bid there, that's fine. As long as you know what your out is. You've got to have an out. If you don't have an out and you're bidding on the market moving down in the pullback leg, you don't know how deep it's going to go. So if you bid 60s, where are you going to stop? You're going to stop 50s, 40s. You're going to keep adding into a loser. Whereas I like to wait for it to come down to a level, see a reaction, start producing a higher low, know that shorts are trapped, and then I'm really interested. Yes, it's still, spiders are still bouncing off the VWAP, and they're just building on VWAP right now. I'd like just a little snap under to encourage all the shorts to chase in for a big puke, which never happens. That's what I'd really like. This edge of this volume, 70. Absorbing in front of the orb and in front of VWAP right now. I'd like one more leg down, please, for a trap. Jump off. See how much patience is required here, folks. Come on, move lower. Want to see move lower. Here's your opening range and your New York VWAP. ES now slightly tweaking. Sorry, ES SPY slightly coming underneath VWAP. QQQ's VWAP is at 556.25. Starting to see some deeper pullback now. This is what we want to see. Can we go and wash out all these buyers who are late and then encourage lots of shorts to be involved, only for it to be absorbed straight back up? So here's a big wash. This is what we want to see. Are we going to get absorption now and build that right shoulder out? So right to the deep pullback flow zones. How far can we melt here? Remember, we're very thin. Just going to triple check news here. This is what I was saying. I can't remember who said it, Raphael. Why I don't bid on the way down. I just let it trap first. We'd play the right side. We'd play it the way back up if it sets in. So coming into that key level here, an old high from Sunday, and it can drift all the way down further if it really wants to. Starting to see some absorption there. There's still some buyers down at 25s and 12s right now. Not ready yet, in my opinion. Gosh. His COVID cough is a nightmare. Yes, almost had its VWAP. Bounced just in front of it. Let's check liquidity on ES. 95, bar at 95, bar at 90. Teaspoon of raw honey. Okay, I might try that. I might need some cough mixtures. Well, I can just feel it. It's all stuck in my chest, like on my lungs. I'm coughing stuff up, but it's not a lot. It's just post-COVID. Makes me feel quite asthmatic. And once it starts like this, it just won't stop. It's like I trigger it and that's the end. It just keeps going and going and going. Oh. Okay, starting to get more or big downside pressure here. So want to be careful here. Like I said, if I'm going to play longs, I'm going to have to play the right side of the V on a recovery, not on the slam down. Spider's coming all the way down to their initial balance low already. So much more weakness in the SPY here. VIX starting to spike here, 1626s. As we come back down towards the New York Open. If this gets really, really heavy, you've got to be careful, because think about the H1. We talked about how thin it was on the way up. Here is your VWAP. Here is your previous day high on the ES. Here is your recovery. Be very, very careful here. They can get very weak very quickly here, folks. I don't know if there's news either. All the way down, almost at this New York Open here, the blue line. 300s. ES back to its RBS, which is previous day high. If it gets weak under that, we're going to go back into chop zone, which will be a nightmare. VIX still spiking here. What a market. Mental. If we get heavy here, we're getting thin now. We're going to go back to, if we go back to point of origin and we start melting into the old chop zone, then we can think about those London lows. Now, I said I wouldn't trade the chop zone unless there was a clear momentum change. Right now, I'm still going to treat this as a higher time frame pullback, which potentially they bid off. ES tapping into previous day high. SPY doing the same thing. Here's your VWAP. Would like to see them drive a little bit lower and put in sort of a double bottom here and find a way of trapping participants, but maybe that's it. This is going to make this really tricky. Major sell volume coming in here, folks. Just be aware. Full rebalance now of the M30 almost complete. H1 doing a big old rebalance as well. Apple gone red on the day. Tesla red on the day. Everything else still holding up very, very nicely. Still feels like it wants to move lower at the moment. All these areas I'd be interested in, but I'm not catching a knife. All right. We have to wait to see if there is a reaction. If there's no reaction, you can't buy it. You cannot buy it. Momentum now. We had momentum with no location. Then we have now we have location and no momentum. Remember the two things we're always asking: what's momentum? What's location? And VIX is spiking here. Feels still like it wants to move lower at the moment. Really does. It doesn't feel like it wants to offer much upside yet. Momentum definitely shifted here. Remember, we've got this New York Open, previous day high. These are all possible areas that I marked out. But at the moment, it doesn't feel like it wants to bounce. It feels like it wants to sell off more. Lots of heaviness in here. You're extended from the flow zones, but that's just what it feels like at the moment to me, just by reading the tape. Feels like it wants to move lower, not higher. And if you have a look at the order book, it's sort of matching that as well. If they get really heavy, remember, we were very thin here this morning in this move up. This was all a giant squeeze up. If we get under that New York Open, I'm not going to rule out Globex. And then you've got that RBS level that we broke out from. It's very, very tricky the way that they're operating in this market. They're big squeezes and big rollovers very, very quickly. Previous day high here in the ES then again. Like I said, I think this isn't done selling yet. If you want to join us as a sell, just like the way up, it's not really offered you a pullback to join as a sell. Here's your New York Open then, and previous day high, and there's the flush. Like I said, it felt like it wasn't done selling. There's your lower time frame algo. I still think this can go deeper, just based on how it's selling right now. Nasty, nasty moves. So think about the higher time frame. We've just given back that whole move. Thin up, thin down, repricing this whole thing. Can it find a bid here? Potentially, it can find a bid here because this is where we broke out from. This can be an RBS, but momentum definitely to the downside right now. Are they making this easy? No. They are definitely not making this easy for a trade. There's been no selling continuation, no buying continuation pattern. Straight up, straight down. At this point, you could argue that there's a cup and handle building for this for continuation lower. It's, oh, they're making this hard, folks. Yeah, I see him there. I see him there at 310, 312, 325. Back towards the VWAP. Just as a reminder, you're still inside your initial balance and your opening range right now. There is still a possibility for continuation lower at this point. If they build liquidity here and trap enough buyers and they want to do another move down, they can. The hardest thing right now is that we've come into a higher time frame level where we broke out from this morning. So they're just making it so hard. They maybe could have offered a short up here if they built liquidity nicer. Didn't. Maybe could have offered a long down here if they built liquidity nicer. Didn't. We went straight up and straight back down again. I'd say momentum feels very heavy at this point. I want to see if a pop-up is sold into, if there's a refresh seller or not. Sorry, folks. I'm really sorry. It must be so loud in the mic. Super painful for me. Was there any news there? Can't see anything. All right, here's VWAP now. Do they squeeze over this to flow zones? Do they create some form of bearish formation for a handle to go lower at this point? Or is this a very, very deep trap? And they run it all the way back up. Remember, we're so thin in here. Grind up, slam down. ES coming back to its initial balance low here, finding a bid on lower time from algo and 5-day moving average. We can go into a rotational market here on the IB as well. That's the other thing to be aware of. All we've done right now is an IB day. When we think about it, there's your IB high, there's your IB low. Fail IB high, rotate, VWAP, VWAP, IB low, VWAP, maybe this VWAP. Time will tell. Easy market? I don't think so. Squeezy market, I would say. Both sides. Straight up, trap buyers at the top. Straight down, maybe trap buy sellers at the bottom. Watching ES into its initial balance here. Watching that 3,000. They're selling 3,000 right now and just above. The chance for this to make a new low if it gets very, very heavy here. And then it will really melt back down towards Globex if it does. So watching this New York Open as ES rejects initial balance low so far. So ES is trapped between previous day high and initial balance low so far. There is a chance for this to move aggressively lower towards Globex low if ES is going to start snapping. It's not easy, folks. It's really not an easy trade at the moment. You're into an RBS zone with momentum very, very heavy. If they want to make a new leg down, like I said, if they want to make that handle and snap IB and New York, they can. If they want to squeeze up off it, they can. It is nasty, nasty. I would not be surprised to see them do a horrible move back lower here, just based on what I'm seeing ES do on that IB. Still holding New York open in the NQ. ES looking a bit weaker than the NQ right now. Sorry, frog in my throat. ES back underneath previous day high, sort of basing between previous day high and IB. Remember, if shorts don't get a new low here, that's where they get stuck. If they get a new low here, I would not rule out sort of gap fill, Globex, those kind of levels. But this is where we broke out from this morning, so it's going to make it very, very tricky for anything else to happen today. Watching it to see if they do a continuation short or not here. Still holding that New York open. You can see every dip into it, they keep protecting in that New York open, that sort of 80 level. There's sellers at 12s. There it's letting go now. And absorb straight away underneath it. Oh, they're going to let this go. Do the shorts get a break structure? Again, ES looks much, much weaker. You are in a potential RBS zone, this blue box, remember. But at the moment, it feels like it's trying to build liquidity to go lower. But the location's terrible and momentum's good. Like, this is what they keep doing today. They're making it very, very tricky. Still protecting New York open, initial balance low, opening range low, previous day high. Still protecting that so far from the short side. No bullish structure to bid off. You can see flow zones are very, very heavy right now. So there's still a chance for this to move lower, especially if ES lets go. If we move lower, we're going for Globex. If we start reclaiming levels, we can think about the IB reversal kind of trade. But right now, it feels heavy. Feels like a lot of games going on as well. Again, in the tape, this feels like the last few days. Sorry. I'm going to have to go and spit this out, unfortunately. Yeah, so painful. Oh. Can we get a trade today? So bouncing so far, or trying to hold a bid so far down here. But again, structure still bearish, lower time frame. Bullish, higher time frame, bearish, lower time frame. Right now, I'd kind of lean bearish if it can prove itself. If we get a drive up which is sold into or something. Mag all look pretty strong though. That's the one thing. Nvidia 1.84% up, Meta 1.84% up, Google 2% up, Amazon 1.35% up, Microsoft 1.34% up, Tesla over 0.5% down, Apple over 0.5% down. So those are the two weak ones. Watching SPY ES as it approaches its initial balance here. Obviously NQ protecting initial balance. So there's initial balance trade here from first point IB to VWAP, which is about to happen if it gets through there up here somewhere possible. Crazy how quick this happened. Straight up, sideways, straight down. Do we get some form of continuation build out here? Maybe something like that. Or are they just going to go all the way and do this? Pardon my French. This is just so painful. Okay, back to New York again. Trapping both sides here. Feels heavy. Feels like it wants to just let go here. It really feels like it wants to let go here and go towards Globex at the moment. There's previous day highs. Can they get through the lower time frame algo and go to Globex? Here we go. In this now. Come on. Scalping a bit out there, locking a little bit in just in case it wants to be nasty. Still think we can now, looking for a trade down to here if we're going to gap fill. All right, has to stay heavy versus initial balance at this point. I don't want to see a reclaim of IB. We rejected VWAP, turned this demand box into supply. We're entering here. We're looking for this rotation down to here. I'm already scalping some out because I'm very aware that this is still RBS. I'm just trying to play momentum as I zoom out. Do we want to come and clear out all these players? So far, it's looking good. How are we doing on the likes here? 68, almost there. Okay, so again, playing shorts here, looking for that move just down to Globex. I know I'm in an RBS level, so I'm, like I said, already taking money. See money, take money. If we reclaim the initial balance, then I'll be out on the runners. Not an easy trade. Would have liked a pop up further. Would have actually preferred this leg here. Right, I would have preferred, oh my gosh, this leg here to have done this like I drew out. That would have been better. Clean these guys out, then sellers, then continuation. That's my preferred setup here. But we rejected flow zones. We're underneath the VWAPs. We're playing momentum. We're thinking about this now as a failed breakout above all-time highs. And we're trying to play just the momentum in front of us for this. If we reclaim this, then we play longs again. But right now I'm trying to respect what I'm seeing in front of me and the order flow to the left in bookmap. So more heaviness here. I'm also watching the VIX. VIX high day, 1643. I want to see how VIX acts into 1654. That's previous day low. Reclaim of that, and this market might get a bit heavier. So into an old VWAP here from yesterday of 941s. A little bit out into that. I'm running out of anything left now. Be very aware higher time frame where we're coming into. This is the old trend line where we broke out from this morning. So make sure you're paying yourself some into here. If we can get weak, we're looking for 910s, 840s would be amazing. I'm in from here, from this candle here, 77s. $50s here. Whole number, 950, 950, 950. They're protecting 50 so far. ES trying to find a bit of a bid as well. Be very, very careful here, folks. Reclaiming 50s. Be very careful here. You might see a squeeze if they start to reclaim aggressively. Manage your position. See money, take money. Nice. Come on. You got to break that low. Come on. A lot too much in there. I wanted to see a bigger snap at that low. That's my fault. Not bad, though. Not bad. Made a bit of money. Wanted to see expansion. Once we broke that low, I wanted to see a big snap. It might still come. We're trading into that trend line now. Getting very close to that trend line we broke out from. I'll consider adding back into it if it can prove itself. Like I said, I'm staying short here while we're heavy. I know we're into RBS levels, but I'm trying to play the momentum. Flow zones have stayed red. Remember, I wanted a pullback to get long into. All right, why didn't I just buy on the way down? Well, like I kept talking about, I wanted this to do something. Oh gosh, like this. Okay, something like that. Did we get that? No, we didn't. We got waterfall, get stuck, and new trend down. So I'm respecting what I'm seeing. So that's why I'm leaning, or have been leaning short. Only a small winning day for me so far, but you know, like I said, probably could have traded this better, but not feeling 100% either today. Got a piece of it, Bart. Task 500 on the day, thanks to me. Yeah, no worries. Nice work. How many of you got that short? Hopefully some of you got it. I'd like a drive up now to offer me a new position. So remember the H1, if we go back to the H1, it did the opposite if we want what we wanted. When we had the new H1 bar, we wanted to drive down to then close higher. What we got is a drive up, liquidity steal to close lower. So this was the opposite of what I wanted. We talked about this. If you rewind to 10 o'clock or just before 10, I say, what I don't want to see is a drive up and close higher. What I want to see is an open drive lower and a close higher. This still looks heavy. If you're in this, you still look good. Just watching these 50s here. Win for the day traded at Bowden. Nice work. 45 points for you, Marek. Nice work. Small win there, capped. Coupon at work. Cool. Yeah, it's annoying. Don't worry, buddy. Like we always talk about, plenty more trades. It's actually not the easiest day. Been good range, but all we're in is an initial balance day so far. If we reject IB, we might get trend day lower, but we're coming into a congestion zone. So it's not ideal. Textbook IB breakdown. Yeah, I would pretty much agree. Problem is, we never came from here when the initial balance set, we never retest it. But the orb breaks down. It goes orb to orb. And then from here, we traded short side. Which is late, but it's the only opportunity in terms of structural setup at Gev. Remember, we need structure to trade. There is a lack of structure in here, so we have to wait for structure to trade. Same here. There is no structure to trade. Remember, if we got any of these, right, we could have traded long, but we just got straight up. And then long in supply, no thank you. And then we rotate over and straight down, and this is the first sign of structure. Peter, 50% closed. Nice. Miguel moving to break even. Good work. Yeah, very strong zone, Peter. Definitely strong zone, like we talked about right here. This is an area of interest. But if you look at what I said, especially in Discord, and I said at pre-market, depending on momentum, our trade here, if momentum is clear, I think I said it in Discord, and I probably said it at the beginning of the stream. Areas I wanted to trade in. Above this, below this, upside, downside, leave alone area. I will trade the leave alone area if there is clear momentum in the move, but not for grind and chop. Right now, we have clear momentum. Momentum saying down. It's a failed breakout and a down, but it can be a high time frame pullback. So here is the trend line we broke out of this morning. This is what we're tapping into right now. Right here is a high time frame trend line, and we're tapping into it. So do any buyers show up here or not? So getting very close to Globex highs here. Literally bouncing right off trend here. 5-day moving average as well. I want to drive up to get re-involved in the short here. It's just not giving me anything. Just like earlier, it's very one-sided. We overmanaged that trade. All right, here's trend line coming into Globex here. Make sure you're taking some covers. Higher time frame algo being tapped in the ES. Here goes VIX into previous day low, like we talked about. If it starts reclaiming this and go back into the range, we might get more weakness in this market. You've got to think this market's going to probably come and take out 907s at this point. Just no pop-up to get involved in. It's so one-sided, this market. Like once it makes its decision, it just seems to just go very, very quickly. Globex, no, I don't have it set to that. For me, it's from 8 till 5 o'clock. That's what I consider Globex. I do mark out the pre-market highs and lows. Old value area high here as well, 26s. Right here from yesterday. Value area high, 26s. Finally, some relief. Let's see what we do here. We trade up to the initial balance in New York Open. Yes, getting a bounce off the high time frame algo. It's got previous day high, 5-day moving average, lower time frame algo, and initial balance all above it. So again, looking to see if we do a back test or a full reclaim now. We are literally bouncing perfectly off that trend line after filling the whole of the last H1. So I want to see some relief here and then see, are they interested in selling into it anymore? Need to see more relief than that. Higher the better at this point if we're thinking about a short continuation. If we're going to change structure and reclaim flow zones and VWAP and initial balance, we can think about a long back up. But so far, this is suggesting that it's an IB day. So if we reclaim IB, then we're going to look for rotation back into VWAPs. If we reject the initial balance, then we're going to look for potential continuation trades. Tesla and Apple really starting to sell, both like 1% down now. Tesla 0.92%, Apple 1.13% down. Here we go, finally some relief. Come on, drive higher and then let's see. There's the 50s again. Still waiting for a retest a little bit higher before I think about any other trade here. Don't want to be short low of days into this block and where we found bids and the flow zones on an H1 and M30. I want to see if we go higher and reject and see stronger sellers come back in because they are on the tape here, 962 and 23,000, 2312. You're looking at ES, it's so tight here. They've got a 560 lot at 85s, and then above you at 87, 88, and 90, you've got bid offers stacked. 273 lot, 139 lot, 100 lot, 111 lot, 490 lot. It is a little bit tight here, so just going to let this play out for a moment. Let the liquidity get taken and make its decision. Some big moves happening there, though. Part of me is like, should I have been thinking about this as a failed breakdown and taking this short here on the flip? Maybe, but the strong trend was up. I don't really hate myself for waiting for this and I'm happy that it didn't happen and I didn't guess the bottom and then we flip for continuation. I'm not going to hate myself for that, but yeah, I do tend to look at days like this and think, oh, well, you could have just got long at the open because you thought it was going to squeeze and you could have just taken the short for the first part of the pullback and then it would have had a better price, but easier said than done. 5-minute bar here still looks weak. Really want this to drive higher first. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, exactly, mate. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I'm not even sure I shoulda and woulda. Probably coulda, but I'm not even sure it was the right play. Not based on. I'm never looking for a reversal model. If we'd come up, I tell you what though, if from 10 o'clock we'd come up and rejected here, then I probably would have been thinking about an IB rotation day. That would have made sense. The market looks weak here, man. Cannot retest. This looks so weak, letting go of 50s again. Big selling driving in here in the market. There are still sell orders up above, and it just can't even get up to fill it. I'll just move my charts. Back to the trend line again here. New breakdown here. Here's Globex. Higher time frame algo and Globex all hanging around, and PDC all down here. You got divergence there. NQ making a new low, ES not making a new low. Just be aware of that. You do have divergence at these lows. Yeah, exactly, capped. Again, though, job is to make money and stick to a strategy. I stuck to my strategy and I made money. It's just like the way we play it, right? Our brains afterwards are like, well, you could have done this, and you could, if you'd done this, you would have made this much more money. But you know, since when is $2,200 for a trade bad? It's mental how we play these games. As me and Coop always say, money dysmorphia. We get money dysmorphia because you think, oh, if I took that whole trade and made 100 points, I would be up $20,000, but it didn't fit the strategy I was looking for. Still holding that trend line, higher time frame, still in this key area. Remember, this is the consolidation where we broke out from. This is a retest. They can hold this if they want, and they can trade all the way back upside. I would like to see a push up before I even think about a continuation or a buy, to be honest. I need to see this market do something. I don't want to be entering any trades down here right now. Just check the news. I'm waiting for Trump as well, you know. So one thing in the back of my head, I can see a post from him moaning about Fed rate again. Not seeing anything yet. As in anything about the tariffs. Not seeing anything yet. All right, 20 more likes. I might have to sit here in lunch to get you guys a free Apex account. You guys have got to help me get this stream back to where it was before I took vacation. We need 150, 200 people on this stream again like we were before. It's going to make it much easier. So if you're going to take the IB rotation trade, the better way to trade would be not to guess the low, wait for the trend to change and trade and buy the pullback. Yeah, well, you'd need it to reclaim the initial balance first, which is here, right? So the trade would need to reclaim this. You'd need it to build out some liquidity so you can have nice tight risk for the trade up to here. The problem is it can trade up to here, fail, come back under and do this. So you wouldn't want to be guessing lows down here. This technically is trend day lower right now because we're under IB. This is telling me trend day lower for now. So you don't want to be guessing these lows. Like I say, I would rather be late to a party. Oh no, Andrew, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I probably owe you a call. Was that off the back of COVID or something, or just lung infection? Really sorry to hear that, mate. Man, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, Andrew. All right, ES looks like it wants to break down of the lows. NQ still stuck here, sideways, rejecting 50. Again, flow zones are holding on here, but your RR is not fantastic here. There's liquidity above 50, 60, 75, and 23,012. Really what we'd like to see is a push-up rejection if we're going to go lower, or a push-up reclaim if we're going to play the initial balance for the next move. We look at the M5 right now. It doesn't look very pretty. It's just trapping in here. Really, we want it to trap up here and then rotate. It's an easier play. Yes, looks like it wants to break down. It's attempting to make a new low. Remember, the mag is not in a sell, just as a reminder. All right, 5 of the mag are all green and comfortably green. Nvidia almost 2% up, Meta 1.62% up, Google 2% up, Amazon 1% up, Microsoft 0.90% up. Just as a reminder. This breaks down without having a drive up. Again, it's going to be hard. Don't really want to be taking a flat bottom break in demand at the 5-day moving average at that potential flag H1 where we broke out from. Not an ideal scenario to be thinking about any new short position down here. What was that edge of volume? 57s. Yes, trying to break down. Level there, 910s, 9,000, sorry, 900 next. New low coming here on ES. New low here on the NQ. Is this the sweep to then go back higher? It might well be. Is that Globex there that it just tagged? Oh, I've got... Why is it printed different? Printed totally different on NinjaTrader to here. That's frustrating. And they should be exactly the same. So there's a misprint there somewhere. There's your Globex. All right, if they're going to start hammering this lower, you might get a gap fill all the way down to PDC at this point. So if you're still in this, you look good. I'd say down towards that sort of 9,000 area. Gap fill is 96s. I think that's right. 96s. Just be careful. You know this is higher time frame demand. We've talked about it all day. But maybe gap fill is possible in the market. VIX looks like it's trying to break out and it can't get through the previous day low here. So just be aware of that. Finding a bid on the trend line. Can't think. My brain doesn't work today apparently. ES making a new low there, trying to bid back upside. NQ trying to do the same thing. So if they're going to drive higher, they have the chance to do it in and around these kind of levels. The book looks very odd how they're stacking it at this point. Looks like they're waiting for something. They've just got thin orders stacked each side, offer and bid. Remember, shorts will need breakdowns and new lows to continue. If they don't get it, they get trapped. Chance to get to PDC. There is a chance. If you're in a runner, there is a chance. But right now, it's defending higher time frame algo. Not showing a willingness to snap lower at this point. And if shorts get trapped down here, you know what happens when shorts get trapped. When they don't get the break of the lows, they get trapped, you get squeezed. Jerome Powell resigning. Are you actually serious? Has that actually been said, or are you just saying that? That's mental if he's been forced to resign. Just having a look to see if I can see anything. Where are you seeing that? I can't see anything on any news feed. No, I can't find it. So if you're going to say something like that, Andrew, please say where you're seeing this source, because I cannot see a thing. And that's pretty major news. Can't see it anywhere. Yeah, well, he's been saying that for days, but there's a big difference between Trump saying he wants someone to resign and Powell actually doing it. I think if Powell resigned, the market would completely freak out. Well, I'm on Twitter looking at all the legitimate news feeds, and I can't see a thing. I can see loads of random influencers saying expected to resign, but I can't see anything of him actually resigning. Yeah, see, Horner got sacked. Okay, so we might get a test of New York Open and initial balance low coming. No, don't refrain, but just make sure you say the source, bud, because if it's just random people on Twitter, there's a big difference. You know, if that's a legit news source and he's resigned, this market will go berserk. It will not like it because it would be instability. No reason to refrain. Just try and say what the source is, because I have all the news sources direct to my X feed, and there's nothing there. Nothing from like Financial Juice or First Squawk or anything like that. Okay, so it looks like potentially trapping down here. I don't know why my Globexes are not matching up with what I have on my Ninja Trader, but for some reason they're not. And we drive back up towards the initial balance here and the New York Open. And remember, if we reclaim that, there is a potential trade as a failed auction back towards VWAP. And we're just going to go inside an initial balance day if we do that. And we're going to chop backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. You can see off the lows here, we bid right off this trend line again. And we're trading back upside now. Sort of would imagine there's one more sort of push out before sellers come back in. They're sort of stacking up at 12s at the moment. Where is 12s? That's very high. Don't see it getting there anytime soon. Look at VIX. VIX rejected previous day low. Had a few attempts to get through it and rejected it, trading back into its range here. A bit of relief here in the market. Sellers stacked at 980 right now. They're trying to build on this lower time frame RBS for a squeeze. I'm not convinced of anything here. Back towards previous day high. Globex, initial balance low, VWAP, all these areas up here. As we drift up there, it will need to make its decision if we're going to go into an IB rotation day, right? Or if they're just going to sell that back down. Remember, it was aggressive selling earlier to take us to the lows, the same way it was aggressive buying to take us to the highs. Been no real relief until now, starting to feel a little bit of relief off that selling. IB test here. Where's ES? Nowhere near it yet. MAG all green again, other than Tesla and Apple as a reminder. Remember, your headline exposure, he might do a post at any time on tariffs. He said he's going to release them today at some point, whatever that means. Whatever that means. So reaction there off the New York Open so far. We're stuck between New York Open and previous day high here now. And these are just awful days, man. Just the back and forth and back and forth. Okay, so it looks like we're going to try and reclaim initial balance and go back towards VWAP at this point. That's what it's attempting to do. ES coming back towards its previous day high here. These are all big, big levels. Remember, these are high time frame demand blocks down here. And if we bid off it, we can squeeze all the way back because we are very thin all the way down. So here goes the squeeze. This is terrible action, folks. Like, there's just... It's unbelievable how we go one direction, one direction, one direction, one direction. It's mental. It's boring. It's so boring, this market, without having continuation in. Yeah, exactly, Coop. It's just like, we'll go this way, we'll go this way, we'll go this way. It just doesn't build anything out. You know, now, what's to stop it coming back all the way up here? Not very much if it wants to go and do it. And the divergence, again, between ES and NQ is pretty large. It just gets frustrating to trade. These summer markets, I hate to say it, with him involved, has been terrible. From a structural point of view, it's been absolutely terrible. Swing traders having a lot of fun, no doubt. Okay, here's a retest of New York Open. Trump newsletters apparently coming in 30 minutes. Great. What's the bet he releases it in 2 seconds? So top of the hour, into lunch where there's low volume. Great. Great news. Let's go long, you're saying. For me, no, not right now. Not right now. No, it's got to prove itself more. Just hanging around here, it's got to prove itself more if I'm going to consider any form of long. And its previous day high being checked here. Flow zone coming up for a check. They would need to absorb this around 60s for a higher low. I just don't like knowing that he can release stuff now. Makes any thought of a trade pretty hard, in my opinion. We don't know what the letter's going to say, what country it's about, what rate it's going to be, how many he's releasing, how many he's kicking down to August 1st. We don't know, nothing. So for me, like, the exposure to risk is massive. A big M15 imbalance we can fill as well, up above where we got thin. Or for those of you who trade ICT, is a big BPR on the M15 as well. And we slice through these, so these are nothing. So reclaiming. But look, since we've reclaimed New York and initial balance, has it done anything? Not really. It's just gone still. This is the area, these sort of 60s and 50s. If it lets go of this, I think it's in trouble back down to low of day. So this here, where it found bids before, this kind of level here, it needs to protect this if it's got any chance of doing this move here, and then you're going to have to wait for it. If it lets go of this, we make new lows probably. Check the mag again. Tesla trying to rotate off IB low. Nvidia stuck at VWAP. Meta above VWAP trying to build out an inverse right shoulder. Google looks good. That's a big flush and absorption, reclaiming previous day high. Amazon stuck underneath VWAP right now. Microsoft looks weak, trading back down towards initial balance low, and Apple weak. Like total mixed bag. Market's just gone into confusion, basically, which is what we had yesterday and the last few days. We're back inside that balanced range. Look at the daily. We're just back inside every piece of action from Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. We're back inside all that action. This is not what you want. You do not want to be back inside the action. You want to be on the edges or outside of it. Think about it on a daily. This is it. This is it. This is what we've got. It's a nightmare scenario. And it's all because, I'll tell you what it's all because. It's because we don't know what's going on with tariffs. That's literally what this is all over. We will make a decision once we know what's going on. We were supposed to know all of the tariffs today. Unfortunately, we won't know all of the tariffs today. We will know some of them. I think he said 7. He's going to tell us 7. That's kind of him. Does this build a flag for a breakout towards VWAP or not? This is a question at this point. So still stuck at this New York Open and initial balance low. Back towards previous day high. We're just trapped in a very tight range here while it makes its decision. You might not get a decision until Donald talks at the top of the hour. It's very, very possible. They keep back testing this area we just talked about. They will need to save that. If they do not save it, they will be in trouble. Bulls, as in lower time frame bulls, will need to protect sort of 60, 65, somewhere around there. Failure to save that will allow them to rotate to lower prices. If those bulls then become sellers, then you get that drive down for a new low of day. Let release. There you go. I mean, this is ridiculous. They say in 30 minutes, this is what I'm saying. They say one thing and then they do the complete opposite. This is exactly what I'm talking about, folks. How can you trust this guy? What a scumbag. I'm sorry. I don't care who you vote for. Like, the way he's acting is ridiculous. Are you going to be able to pick her up?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Can I borrow this for the day?
Yeah, you can have it. It's fine. All right, let's have a look at these letters then. 25% on Brunei. What else is he posting? 20% on Philippines. That's it so far. Yeah, I probably need beeps on. It just annoys me. It just annoys me. Like, name any other leader in the whole world that thinks that this is an acceptable way of talking about such major things going on. This is what I mean. Here you go. Here you go, folks. This is exactly what I just talked about. I warned you. I warned you. Those looking for longs, I just warned you. This is what happens. We're into... I don't even know what to call it. Just like, you can't plan for this. You have to understand. You cannot plan for this. What's this one he's now released? 30% on Iraq. 30% on Algeria. 25% on Moldova. You see how erratic this is? This is erratic. And still the big one we don't know about. What we're really waiting for is EU and China. That's what people really care about. All right? That's where most product come into and out of America. 30% on Libya. Back to initial balance again. Yeah, he's going to leave them to last minute. He's going to leave them to, I guarantee he leaves it to August, and I guarantee he changes it again. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm having to read off Truth Social because that's where he's posting it. So the quickest way to get this stuff is off Truth Social right now. You'd think it would go to a legitimate news site or even, dare I say it, a White House press conference for something as important as this, but no. Okay, this guy's you're getting banned, mate. I warned you earlier. Gone. Nothing worse than spam being entered all the time. Okay, so they're trying to reclaim again to move higher. Yeah, 30% on Iraq, it said. Yeah, I know it's a bot. That's my point, but I can't have it spamming. Maybe that's it. That might be the end of it. So Libya. Iraq. Do you know how good Truth Social is? You can't close pictures down. Once you open them, you can't close them. Algeria. That's so funny. Yeah, one is missing. I was just thinking that. There's 6, isn't there? He said 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, I don't use, like, I've never used it. Back in the day, it was a SPAC. I actually used to trade it to the downside. The ticker was DWAC. I remember it. I'm sure Coop and some others remember that. It was a SPAC. They turned it into Truth Social, and he uses it now, knowing that people will need to log on to see the news. Thank you, darling. Catch you later. Have a good day. Are you coming back before you get Luna? All right. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I've done, Mo. It's literally exactly what I've done, and I reckon what half the population have done. Yeah, I know, Bowden. I know. We just got to. It's not even like people make it about red and blue. It's not even about that. It's not even about who you vote for. It's just about how to deliver news. It's not the correct way to deliver such important news. Okay, potential squeeze here. So inverted head and shoulders. They're going to try and get to view up and then up here. This second view up. All this liquidity here. From a high time frame point of view. All right, we can see where we got thinner earlier. So they would probably want to protect this sort of blue box here. Short sellers. If they don't, then very easy to get to the top side. So I'd say basically 23,000. If they reclaim 23,000, 23.35 can happen pretty quick. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing at the moment. Well, what he's doing is, I can show you. He's posting letters. All right, so this is Truth Social. He's posting the letters for you to read. You want to laugh? Look, doesn't work. Hello. Doesn't work. Funny. Well, he's playing the friend game, is he? How many followers can he get? He wants to be the biggest influencer in the world. Oh, what a world. All right, VIX melting down here, back towards low of day. See if it finds a bid. Oh gosh, you're funny, chap. He wants to be bigger than Kim, bigger than the Kardashians. They need to do a reality show, Living with the Trumps. I'd actually watch that. I would watch that. So potentially moving to buy side of the curve just depends how far this wants to push up. This can still be a giant bear flag technically, but the edge is gone at the moment. 15 minutes until we get to lunchtime. It's like I said, exactly what I said when he's like, I'm going to release it in 30 minutes, and he released it a few minutes later. I mean, the guy can't help himself. So VWAP coming up here. ES already at VWAP, approaching its initial balance low. If it reclaims that, can it squeeze? Absolutely, it can squeeze back up towards high of day if it wants. Yeah, the whole Epstein thing's crazy, man. How can you say it's on your desk and then say it doesn't exist? It's not a good look. I think he's going to upset his supporters a little bit there. It's crazy, isn't it? He literally, they're on my desk. They don't exist. Really not good. Lying to the American people, not good. Not going to do yourself any favors. I'm not sure why that is, Bowden. So ES rejecting its view up there. Still feel like this has got a bigger squeeze in it before we see sellers come back involved. I'd be looking at something. Where's the channel? Something sort of. Draw from there. Sort of like that at the moment. So flow zones, New York open, initial balance, all congregating very tight next to previous day high here. Lower time frame bulls are trying to take control off that higher time frame area. We talked about it earlier, right here. So big squeeze up, a reprice. If they want to bid off this, they can drive back upside. Can they get all the way up to high of day again? Time will tell, because this can also now be a rotation to going back lower. So because we're just balanced back inside this old range, this is, remember, this was the don't really want to trade in its own. Because we're balanced back inside of this, it's a little bit dangerous. Yes, coming back down towards previous day high here. Keep checking truth. I can't see him dropping this 7th one. Last one he did was Libya. The middle of no man's land here. Stronger sellers coming in there. As he just dropped something or something. Back to the lower time frame algo. Nothing. 60s again. Definitely stronger selling here. You can see it on the tape. Coming in aggressive, but we're still in that uptrend. We're in that channel. But we're back beneath initial balance. We're rejecting initial balance. We're rejecting key levels. If this wants to go all the way back down to lows, it absolutely can, remember. Here's your trend line test. Tricky, tricky, tricky. There's your 50s and trend line test. This is your third tap on this channel trend line. If they let go of this and go back to lows, then if they get a snap of lows and all these buyers get trapped, then we rotate. Higher time frame now. You've built up so much liquidity down here that it's your point of control now at 40s. These 50s are key. Still got sell side or seller's liquidity sat passive on the book at 23,005. Underneath, it's not a whole lot, to be honest. We've probably got to get to news. Why do I have this horrible feeling that this 7th one that he's going to drop is going to be a really big one? Imagine he just like drops Europe and he goes, no tariffs, or like 50% tariffs. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. They're trying to absorb these 50s for now. The 50 break, are they going to reclaim it, or are they just going to let this thing go? Sellers now at 60s, 62, 65, 70, 70s. Just stacking up there, small size, looking to get filled on pops, it looks, to sell back down. They're looking for this sort of bear flag breakdown by the looks of it to go back towards the lows. At least that's what it looks like to me, but if they reclaim, then they're going to get stuck again. There you go. They're trying to take this low out here now. 39s. They can't make anything easy today. VIX finding a bid off its demand printed earlier today. So you got VIX trading at the lows with NQ trading at the lows. ES holding its trend line, by the way. We're at lunch yet. 5 minutes left. So ES holding its trend line, the same level we've just broken. All right, if you think about ES, currently holding it. All right, so holding this level. So just be careful. That's a failure to, that's an internal sweep with a failure to break the low down here. Shorts now need to sell this and get a break here. Otherwise, this failing to move down here can allow that. So shorts really need to come and sell this at this point. Yeah, I bet. I'm probably trading the hardest asset right now. I do keep thinking that. What I'm considering is splitting my day and trading NQ here and then trading gold in the evenings, and maybe splitting my accounts so that I can keep track of what I'm trading and what I'm performing in. And let's have a look. I mean, that is amazing. That is easy money. You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, JD, that's for sure. Right, so shorts coming in, trying to sell that, like we just said, they will need to sell the next pop-up and try and get a break towards the lows. They have to do that in order to not be stuck in this market. These 50s feel sticky here. Very sticky. There's reattempt again. Yes, still holding trend line, by the way, just so that you are aware. Yes, it's holding very, very strong. Some buyers coming into the market here. Seller at 75 is much, much higher, and some small levels in between. It doesn't look very nice. You'd almost just rather it just close the gap at this point and get it over and done with, so that the low-hanging fruit's at least gone from one side, you know? Do they break this down now? They just fanny around more. The same kind of wedge we've seen lower time frame the last few days building. You want them just to break it down. Just let it go. It's going to make it easier trade if you just let it go and fill the gap, but they won't do it. This is exactly what we've seen. This kind of bullshit the last few days, when they go into a point where they don't know what to do anymore. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Just constantly. It's just, there's no follow through either side. No one's taking control. Everyone's just like, let's wait. That's literally what's happening. It's them going, let's just wait. Let's just wait. All right, there's lunchtime. So where's this 7th one, mate? Your half an hour's up. And nothing. Yeah, that's it, JJ. They're just like, let's wait. Let's wait and see what happens. ES still holding that trend like a trooper. Like a trooper. Unless you guys can get me 16 more likes, I'm out of here. I'd love to do a giveaway for you lot. Yeah, the mags. That's what I'm saying. The mags are all up other than 2. All right, so if we go Apple, downside, let go, underneath previous day low, weakness. Microsoft trying to find a bid on pre-market, trending downside. Amazon has the ability to try and reclaim here for a squeeze, but still downside. That's a great look from Google. Big sweep, and maybe can trade upside. Relative strength Meta looks fantastic. Nvidia just basing out here. If it gets going, it's slingshot. I wouldn't be thinking in short Nvidia until it breaks down, and even then it's counter trend. And Tesla looks weak. All right, just lower lows and lower highs. Unless Tesla reclaims VWAP, I'd leave it alone. So a little bit of a mixed bag. Nvidia trying to get going though, that's for sure. Oh my gosh. All right, 12 more likes. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to get 12 more likes. Otherwise, I'm out of here and we'll just keep rolling it over. Yes, Coop, I am. I want to get the cricket game. There's a cricket game, VR cricket. I think it looks fun. I'd love to do that. Put a trade on and just stand there playing cricket. It's only because I keep seeing this guy, the VR cricket guy, I think he's called, on Instagram. And I'm like, that looks like a bit of me. I'm sick of like games like Call of Duty and all that stuff. Well, the cricket, I could do it. I'd have to figure out how to do it. He does it really well because he does it so it records his VR and then you see a shot of him playing. 6 more likes. We're almost there. We're probably going to get there, I think. Oh. This is dreadful, man. Just going sideways. Complete tapering now. Oh, nice one, Coop. I'll check that out. I don't think I need an expensive one for cricket. I don't know if you've seen it, but the graphics are terrible. So worth getting the 3. I'll check it out. Do any of you have it already? Have any of you used anything like that? Okay, cool. Nice one, man. Still indecision. I'm just looking at the 5 minute. I'm like, 5 minute looks like it's rebalanced to go lower, but you could also argue that it's trying to print higher lows. No confluence here. Everything, like we talked about, when you see the flow zones do this and they flatten out, you just have to wait. You've got the old one? Is it good, Miguel? What do you use it for? Do you have any games on there that you like playing? Still no letter from Trump. No 7th one. Jailbroke it and installed a whole bunch. Oh, I didn't know you could even do that. That's cool. Yeah, it's been bad, ERF. This is what happens when we have inside days. It's been bad. You know. Not been easy. It's not been easy. We either need this market to give, you know, a signal of a proper breakdown, high time frame, or a proper breakout. If you all you got to do is look at the daily, and you can just see that there's nothing changed from Thursday last week to Wednesday this week. We're in the same, trapped in the same levels. I don't have the Mega Quest 3. The images look cool. Yeah, all play cricket. I can't imagine any American wants to play cricket. I don't think they even know what it is. Back to these 50s again. It's funny, like NQ's got the look like it wants to break down, and ES has the complete opposite look here. Cricket, yeah. I love cricket. Great game. Yeah, a bit like baseball. You have bowlers and batters, two batters at what you call the crease or the wicket. Great game. Only problem with it, if you play it, even if you just play like for your local club, you can say goodbye to your weekends because it takes a whole day. And if you play Test cricket, it goes on for 5 days. In fact, I think Test cricket starts. Is the third Test today? I think it is. England India, is that the third Test today? Or is it tomorrow? I'm way off. July 10th. Tomorrow. I want to get a genuine cricket cod piece for my Halloween costume. You mean a box? We call it a box. You want to go to home Ashes? Yeah, I'd love to go to an Ashes. Like I said, NQ looks like it wants to break down here. ES doesn't. These 50s have been sticky. You can see we've traded into it, away from it, into it, away from it. This is another time visiting into it. And you've got like 2 more minutes, folks, to get 2 more likes. If you can't do it, we can't do a giveaway. So 2 more likes, get that up to 100 likes, and we give away an Apex account. Brandon, I don't know if you know me in pickleball, but I completely effed my back up about, it's probably 2 months ago now playing pickleball. So me and pickleball do not get on. And in fact, the doctor called me the other day saying, why haven't you been in to see me? I was like, well, I've been in Europe and I had COVID, so I can come if you want. One more like for a giveaway. You're almost there. There we go. God, it took you a long time to do that. All right. Well, I keep my word. We will do a giveaway. Let's get this up. Yeah, starting to break trend. Out of interest, folks, can you hear that banging or tapping? They've started work above me, so just interested to know. You can. Okay, what a nightmare. We're going to have that for a month or 2, apparently. Let's go. Okay, if you are a regular on the stream or a subscriber or a member, you will have 2 times the chance of winning. All you have to put into chat is FZT, all right? FZT, and then we'll draw a winner and give you a couple minutes. You lot to do it. Yeah, I see that seller here, but he just got taken out. Like I said, we're just revisiting the same kind of areas. I think at some point we'll come and sweep these potentially, but we will have to see. Let's have a look. I'll give you one more minute. So FZT, if you want to win a free Apex account, any size, completely up to you. Just giving you the last lot of chance. There's your wash of those lows. Like I said, we've just come and swept them finally. Back into that area where we found bids this morning, but these just got taken. All right, that's it. So let's choose a winner, shall we? The winner is Calypso. There you go, Calypso. Calypso 2, you are the winner. What you need to do, if you're not already a member in the Discord, you're going to need to email me. Show me proof that you are in fact Calypso on as your YouTube. So just send me a screenshot of you logged in so I can see it, and I will provide you with a free Apex account. If you're a member in Discord, then just hit me up in Discord. I like that, Miguel. Thank you for your attention on this matter. One of you has now won any size Apex account you can want. You can just hit me on flowzonetrader@gmail.com. Probably the easiest one to do. All right, folks, I think that's it. Not much else happening. We're just basing out. We're going sideways. This market's been a tricky one today. All right, so we've done a straight squeeze this morning. Boom. We go sideways. A straight sell-off. Boom. And we're going sideways. All right, so no continuation here. No continuation here. We need to wait. Maybe need to wait for a reprice and see if they want to sell back down for a retest or a reclaim and drive back up for a retest. There's really not a lot else you can do here. They're making it very, very hard. And again, we've gone over it. The reason is that everyone is unsure what to do right now. You have to understand that this recovery in the market, the last 3 months or whatever it is, has been the most hated V-shaped recovery of all time because it lacked pullbacks and it lacked reasons to get involved. It's gone straight up based on absolutely nothing, based on tariffs being paused. And what you have right now is hedge funds sat in cash waiting to buy this market, and they're looking to buy if we sell back deep, and they're not doing that. So they're just sat here waiting and waiting and waiting. We will go again tomorrow. Lots of big gaps. Yes, JD, lots of big gaps below. Same thing tomorrow, folks. Please trade safe this afternoon. Remember, we don't know if there's going to be new announcements, so just be careful with all that stuff. And remember, you've got FOMC minutes as well. Don't forget that. Might shake the market a bit. Until then, please trade safe. Use hard stops. Be kind to each other. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:15. Peace out.